Hi, my name is Shruti Mehta. I'm here to show you how to prepare an Indian vegetarian lentil curry. The Indian name for it is Masala Masoor, which literally means spicy lentils. Um, um, Cooking with beans is very common in India, and lentils are a very common, I think, all over the world. They're very healthy, they're easy to cook, and so I like this curry because it prepares quickly and it tastes great. So what you start with a cup of lentils. These are like brown lentils, but they can be green or red. I bought them in an Indian store, but you can get them in any supermarket. What you want to do is you want to start by picking through them, because anything that comes, any kind of beans, you always want to pick them through. So you want to spread them out and look for any kind of rocks or unrecognizable objects, if there are any. Then you want to always put them in water and scrub them lightly, especially if you buy them from an Indian store, because in India the preparation is still pretty primitive, and so you always want to wash them. So let me get a bowl, and we'll put them in a bowl and put lots of water over it, and then scrub them gently. So I have water in here, and you just kind of just scrub them, and then you want to drain these, and then repeat this repeat this procedure for a couple of times. So I have washed them a couple of times, and now I'm just going to pour them directly into this boiling water, and we will cook it for exactly about 10 minutes, and they should be done. They should be like al dente, not too mushy. So you want to just stir them occasionally. They'll do the cooking by themselves. So while the lentils are cooking, we are going to prepare a paste. Now, again, as I had said earlier, in India, everything is prepared fresh. And so this paste we are going to make, it has 5 main ingredients. We have fresh garlic, ginger, these green chilies to make it spicy, but if you don't like it too spicy, you can omit these. We have dry red chilies, and you want to make sure what kind you're buying, because if I have 8 of them here, if you buy the very hot kind, it will make your curry very, very spicy. So you can adjust the number of chilies. Then we have cumin seeds here, and then we have coriander seeds. Coriander seeds grow from, like when you let the cilantro plant overgrow, it flowers and then it seeds, and these are then sun-dried. So we're going to try and make a paste out of all this, and we will try and see. I have a little blender, and hopefully it will. I'm going to do it in stages. So we'll put the ginger, the garlic, and the chilies first, and we'll grind those up, then move them into a bowl, and then we'll grind the rest of it. And when we grind these, we will add water to it to make a paste. And so we have our ginger and chilies and garlic done. I'm going to move that to a bowl, and then grind the rest of it. So I'm going to put the chilies in first. Pour the seeds in. You can also use a coffee grinder for this, and you can make dry powders using a coffee grinder. First, going to grind them dry, and then add, once they are a little done, then we will add water. One trick or one important note is to remember that when you are grinding chilies, you never want to open the jar and look directly into it. because then you can start sneezing. So you always want to open the jar, stay away from it, and then add your water. So now we are ready to make the curry. The lentils are already cooked. We have our paste that we made, and we have our chopped onion and tomatoes, and we are going to start with ghee. Now, ghee is an important ingredient in Indian cooking, and it's just clarified butter. Every Indian kitchen will have a pot full of these, but you don't have to run to an Indian store to get this. You can use olive oil or any kind of oil to substitute for ghee, but do not substitute with butter, because that can burn your onions. So we are going to add a little bit of ghee, and this will melt as it and when it's melted, it actually looks like oil. You can't really see the difference, but the flavor is much nicer of the ghee. So we'll add and let it melt first before we do anything else. And then the next step would be to add the onions. So I just have to wait until the ghee melts and then add the onions. And then we'll cook the onions for about 5 minutes. You always stir them up to coat them with the ghee. So now our onions look nicely browned, and we are ready to add the tomatoes. You can also use canned tomatoes if you like, and we'll let the tomatoes cook for 2 minutes, and then we'll be ready to add our paste. And always the paste has to be, any spice mixture, it has to be sautéed. Otherwise your spices are going to taste raw. And so this is a nice smelling paste, and it's perfectly lumpy and perfect consistency here. And as soon as the tomatoes are slightly limp, we can go ahead and add the paste, which is what I'm going to do right now. And I'm going to saute this in with the tomatoes. I'm going to saute this for a good 5 minutes. I'm also going to add at this point a little bit of cilantro, because it adds nice flavor to your curries, and it's going to, you won't even know it's there. So we'll add about a couple of tablespoonfuls of chopped cilantro, and this is all going to cook and get into kind of a lump, which is going to be the base of your curry. Now at this point we have the cooked lentils, but if you want, you can add kidney beans or chickpeas, so then you don't have to cook the lentils. But this is the base, and this can be frozen too. You can cook up to this point and freeze this part, and then you can add to your lentils, you can add chicken or any kind of meat, or you can also add potatoes and carrots and make it a very healthy, fulfilling dish. Okay, so this looks like it's ready for the lentils. So we are going to add the cooked lentils at this point, and remember, the lentils are already cooked. The curries are stew-like dishes. Curry is a generic name for a stew-like dish that can be cooked with meat or vegetables or fish, different kinds. So it could be lentil curry, it could be cauliflower curry, and so on and so forth. So we are going to add salt and lemon juice and a little bit of water. And you add the water only if it is needed, but you want to let it simmer for about 5 to 7 minutes at least, so that the lentils can absorb all the flavors of your spice paste. And so you just want to add enough water so that when it's simmering, it's going to, actually the lentils are going to absorb that extra water. And one thing that I want to say here is that if you didn't want to make a paste with the garlic, ginger, red chilies, and cilantro, the coriander seeds and stuff, you can also make this curry with the dry spices. And in place of, you chop your ginger, you chop your garlic, and in place of the coriander seeds and cumin seeds and chilies, you can use the chili powder for the chilies. And in place of coriander and cumin, you get this powder which is called Dhana Jeera powder, and you get this in an Indian store. You can ask the shopkeeper for a mixture of coriander seeds and cumin seeds, and this powder is made with 1 part cumin seeds and 2 parts coriander seeds, and it's available already mixed. And you can make the same curry with the dry spices. Always the fresh spices, when they're ground up freshly, tastes better, but this curry comes out just as well. So if you're strapped for time, you can make it with the dry powders. So our lentils have simmered enough, and this is exactly how it should look. Not too much water, but not too dry. So this is perfect. We are just going to decorate it with cilantro now. And it can be served over rice. That's usually how the curries get served. They get served over rice. Or you can pick up pieces of bread, and Indian people use their hands to eat with, just the right hand, and you break pieces of bread and use those to pick up the curry with. And so here we are, always decorating with cilantro, and it's like red and green always. That makes it look very attractive. You can also use parsley if you like, and parsley and lentils go well together. So here's lentil curry.